Chapter 958. At this moment, as Linda locked her gaze on Emma, there was a dash of jealousy and anguish in her eyes. She had liked Alex ever since she was a child and always dreamed of being Alex's bride. She hadn't forgotten this dream, but from the looks of it, her dream could never come true. That was why she envied Emma even more. In her opinion, Emma was the happiest woman in the world because she had married the best man in the world. Mrs. Brown smiled gently and said, "Yes, building your career is important, but so is family. It's better to have a baby when you are young, as it will affect your health otherwise." Emma nodded, her blushing face as red as an apple. Linda then said apologetically, "Mrs. Brown, the owner of the restaurant just called. He said that there was a problem with their electricity in the restaurant, so they had to close for business today. Looks like we have to find another place to eat." Mrs. Brown said with a motherly smile, "It doesn't matter. The most important thing is that I'm glad to see all of you today. I haven't seen some of you for a long time. I'm very happy." Ian, who had been neglected the whole time, blinked mischievously upon hearing this. He immediately marched forward and blurted, "Mrs. Brown, let me arrange the dinner venue for us tonight." He took out his phone and made a call, and then announced to the crowd, "Guys, I've reserved a table at the 5-star Tim Hotel. Let's go." The crowd sucked in a breath in surprise upon the announcement. Someone started in an awkward tone, "Tim is a 5-star hotel, it's a little too extravagant to dine there, right? It will cost at least $20,000 to $30,000 per meal, right?" "Yeah. Even if we go Dutch, it will cost $1,000 or $2,000 per person. We can't afford such high expenses with our current salary." Everyone nodded in unison, frowning and mumbling. Only the people from the upper-class social circle could frequent places like a 5-star hotel and afford the luxury the hotel provided. As for the people present, they were all orphans with lower academic qualifications and no family, so they could only land jobs with mediocre pay. The jobs they could land were mostly blue-collar jobs. Their salary was only enough for their daily needs, and they could not afford an extra luxury in their lives. Therefore, they were very anxious and worried when they heard about dining in a 5-star hotel for fear that it would exceed their monthly budget and increase their financial strain. Ian chuckled and said while patting his chest, "Guys, relax. I'll pay for half of the meal, and you guys can share the other half. It will only cost a few hundred per person. What do you think?" Everyone instantly sighed in relief. Indeed, based on Ian's suggestion, they could save a lot of money and feel less burdened. Someone started, "Hey, is it really okay for you to cover half of the bill? It doesn't seem fair to you." Ian waved his hands indifferently. "Ah, no problem at all. We are here mainly to celebrate Mrs. Brown's recovery, it's no big deal." What they didn't know was that meals and entertainment expenses were reimbursable expenses in his company. Ian had a plan sketched out in his mind. It seemed like he was extremely generous to pay half of the bill while the others shared the other half. In reality, he would ask for the bill from the restaurant later and reimburse his expenses from his company. By then, not only could he get back the money he spent, but he could also earn the extra half that he obtained from them. In this case, if the meal cost them 30 grand, he paid 15 grand and everyone paid 15 grand, then, he would reimburse 30 grand from his company. By doing so, he could save his reputation and gain some fame for his so-called generosity as well as earn 15 grand at the same time. Why not?